Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video. In today's video, we're taking an anti-slasher team into some PvP with one of my new Pirate Festival rare recruits, Shiki. Now, along my 5 multis of the Brook and Zoro banner, I actually managed to pick up Shiki on the 5th multi. Pretty happy with this one because slashers are like my favorite team to run, and now with Zoro and Brook moving into sort of like a side slasher, int slasher meta, this particular character can definitely find his way onto an int slasher team. On top of that, he is incredibly good at just decimating slasher units. He does so much goddamn damage. Like, as you guys see here, 10,000 basically to everyone. We are taking on some master and challenge modes over here in the PvP game mode, but he does so much damage to slasher characters, and this unit off a bench with an 8-man slasher team can do really well. He'll just slide straight into your bench whenever you're versing slashers, plus he does get buffed under 99% of the team because this whole team is buffing slashers. Stereotypically, though, you won't really be running him in the front, but I did want to give him some love up front against the new Zoro challenge, against the Cat Viper challenge, or basically anywhere where slashers are. This man is going to see some real serious play. The 8-man slasher build is something that does work, especially with PvP lore in the front. Then you can use like a like Shank's Buggy, or you can use Shank's crew. You can use other good damage dealers as well. You can use Cracker for cooldowns, Kizaru 6+ for cooldowns, but stereotypically the slash team is built up of a 5 legend base, and then you use something like a very good PvP rare recruit as a nuker on the bench. And this is where this particular Shiki will see most of his play, just being that 6th slot, finding a way on the bench to sort of decimate teams that way. But if you guys do want to do some fun stuff with your 6-man slash, your 8-man slasher builds, you can do some really interesting stuff, bringing him in the front and then having like a very good legend on the bench. But as you guys will see here, like whenever Shiki hits and you are versing a majority slasher build, the damage output that he provides is so damn big. It's so massive, and you can just absolutely tear through teams. He actually salvages the final fight you guys will see in this video when we take on Kawamatsu, where we just got really bad RNG. The enemy had everything going for them, and Shiki just sort of came in off the bench in perfect fashion, saved the entire fight for us, took us all the way down to the wire, and we ended up winning in a one-on-one. So he can do really good things in that regard. Slashers, obviously, with Brook and Zoro, they have very good options off the bench now too. Brook's great in the front if you do have something like Zoro Sanji. The downside I found to this particular Zoro, who I actually managed to pull on the discount, is that Zoro Sanji is so prevalent on that slasher team, and there's so many other very good Zoros that can find their way onto the slasher build, that finding a home for the PvP Zoro can be a little bit challenging. I will be doing some stuff with the side team, the slasher team, all that fun stuff with Zoro in the coming days. I'm just trying to find the best way to make that showcase for you guys. But with Shiki, it was very easy to do, because like I said, you can just slap him on the bench. He doesn't really clash with anyone, and there's no other real Shiki that's going to sort of take his place. But even if you are running a 6-man slasher build, running something like Shiki on the bench and calling it a day that way, you can have him come in and just, like I said, salvage any fight when you are taking on slashers. When you're not taking on slashers, he's not as prevalent. He doesn't have that much of an impact because he buffs in characters. He's not buffing slashers like Zoro or something like Law, where they buff their color and their typing. Shiki is just buffing int. So in the coming months, we might see some more int slashers. Once I sort of start to pull a bunch of other PvP rare recruits, like Cat Viper is a big one, and Brook, the new int Brook, we might be able to put together some sort of int slash team, because I definitely think that the options are there. The Giants, both Brogy and Dory, are slashers. You have 6+ Doflamingo, who's great. Hell, you could even chuck in Whitebeard and Roger, because they buff int as well, just like I was trying to do on the sort of Psy slasher build. But I do think that the potential is there for int slasher, and that's where I think Shiki will shine the most when you are using him in the front. But if you guys are using him as a bench option, he's just going to work absolutely great. And hell, he's going to work great on just like regular int teams, because slashers are kind of littered everywhere throughout the meta. You have obviously the dominant slasher team. On the side team, you have stuff like Odin, if they're using stuff like Momo, this new Sai Zoro for bench options. Kizaru 6+, Cracker 6+ on powerhouse teams. So there are a lot of slashers that sort of float around on a bunch of different teams, including stuff like shooters. So this is where I wanted to take on shooters, because you got stuff like Iron, Kizaru, the Raizo, Shinobu, Izo, they're all slashers as well. And having Shiki come in at the back end of a fight with a bunch of these characters still floating around, you are going to do quite a lot of damage. He does have a very interesting ability that when he gets half stats, he does decrease the enemy's attack and some other stats as well, but the real draw to the character is the amount of damage output that the unit has and how much... Well, he's basically just his killing potential, really, when you are taking on other slasher units. Now, I really wanted Iron to hit us with the half stats there, so that way we could sort of showcase that ability. Unfortunately, she didn't hit us, and then Shiki just only hits one unit here, because, like, why not? Actually, now I think about it, that Iron is not a slasher. She is a shooter cerebral character, so that's my bad. Nevertheless, though, as you guys saw there, just hitting something like Kizaru, the damage output is basically a kill. And if you can get this Zoro to work too, he does kind of bits as well. But the main place this Shiki is going to shine for myself is, like I said, off the bench for either an 8-man slasher team or a 6-man slasher team where he is the bench option, using something like Zoro Sanji in the front and having that built-out bench with stuff like Zoro, Sasaki, PvP Law, because slashers are, like I said, they are littered everywhere. Stuff like Smoothie, the Giants, Pell, Dalton, all these very good PvP rare recruits. You got stuff like Shiryu over on Quick. They all find a way just on the bench of the slasher build, even though they're not exactly buffing the slasher class, that they can sort of find a home there. Now, this was the perfect showcase for what Shiki can do, because we get some really bad RNG here. They get Kawamatsu going very early. They have K-Dad going very, very early, and all of their speed sort of caught up with me. However, they did take out 2 units here, which was perfect, because I did want Shiki to actually come in, and I wanted Shiki to come in with a special. So coming in this early for us was actually a good thing. However, it was also a very good thing for them, because they have a lot of damage output. Now, Shiki doesn't go, though, which kind of sucked. So Shiki coming in there was not exactly the most perfect time. We lose a lot of our characters early, but when you are versing a mono slasher team and you have Shiki coming in off the bench, you can rely on his damage output to actually save you the fight. Now, this looks like an absolute goner, right? Like, there isn't too much happening for us here. A lot of our units are dead. We managed to kill Roger and Whitebeard and another unit with Law, which brings in a bunch of their bench options, which works really, really well in our favor, because now Shiki can hit a bunch of other new units. As you can see, he kills 3 units very, very comfortably. Plus, he reduces the HP of the other 2 so drastically that they are now literally in or within just attacking distance to die. And that's exactly what happens here. We just managed to get a shot in on Odin. That we don't have to worry about the Odin special. We managed to get a nice shot in on Kawamatsu, who's very, very low. He does get his special off, which does make it a little bit scary, but Zoro was already in a position where he had his special anyway. Zoro does take out Shiki, which kind of sucks because he was the damage dealer as well as our showcase unit. Sasaki manages to pick off Kawamatsu, and at this point we're in for a 2-on-1, which is very, very good for us, but not the be-all end-all, because our Law is very, very low, plus Zoro is very close to a special. But this is what Shiki can do. He can absolutely save a fight for you when you are versing slashers, and that is where he's going to shine the most, coming in off the bench where you are taking on a majority slasher team. But that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff for me. Best of luck if you guys summoned on PvP and in the PvP Championships. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.